Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
The Archon of Secrets twirls his scepter in a twisting loop, his leather-wrapped hands flipping the heavy rod with an effortless flow. If I may address the Archons? Governor Panda, long have we been honoured by your iron. Now we are honoured by your presence. I must apologise for my lord's tempers run high of late. Bow to the Archons. Apologies for the sudden entrance. I've travelled long to be here.
Welcome, Firestarter. We have been eagerly anticipating your arrival. Perchance you bring another of Kairos' edicts to savage the enemy?
We were worried you'd never make it. So glad that Drastus' demise didn't cause further delay.
Archon of Secrets turns his attention to you. The frozen rictus fashioned into his bronze mask greets you with a permanent smile. I come bearing an edict of Kairos.
For the second time, Brother Tunon selects you for the glory of proclamation. You should be honored. Tell us, what has the Overlord decided to unleash upon the Oathbreakers?
Okay, so this is all saying the same thing, but in slightly different ways. Overlord's loyal servants must hold Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all in the valley shall perish. It seems you need some encouragement to work together. Kairos' edict will end the lives of everyone in this valley unless Ascension Hall is claimed by Kairos' Day of Swords. In honor of your incompetence and disarray, the edict will execute every living thing in this valley unless Ascension Hall is taken by Kairos' Day of Swords. Let's go with the official one to try not to piss people off. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment, its every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountain, feel renewed, tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigour.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mittani. We lose everything if we stand still, and we move to backup Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time, so we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
The Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escapes from under his beard.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? A baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
The Archon of Secrets passes his scepter from one hand to the next, chuckling softly with each toss. They call you the Archon of Secrets, but you certainly don't seem to know anything remotely useful.
I second the fate binder. Thought you had the memories of one of those Oathbreakers rattling about that bronze gourd of yours. Would Kairos' mighty spy master please enlighten this gathering of allies with some scrap of strategic insight?
The Archon of Secrets turns his head to the side until the face of his mask is turned around and a new facet of the mask presents itself as facing forward. When next the Archon speaks, the trembling voice of a younger man can be heard.
Our river was to be the bulwark, but with the Tidecasters slain, what hope remains? It's so cold in here. Help me. Please.
Falcon turns his head far to the side until the previous facet of his mask now looks forward.
Our sources tell us the Oathbreakers had some sort of magical trick in store. But this knowledge is tinged with fear, trepidation. If we make a move for the Mitanni, we suspect the Oathbreakers will mount a counterattack that is equal parts valiant and futile.
Who was it?
That was Mitanni Yanev, former noble of Apex and one of the leaders of the Vendrian Guard. Back when they were half-respectable enemies that knew how to lose with dignity. When the Guard first surrendered, Yanev presented himself to us. What he knew, we now know.
Then enough talking, there's work to be done. I feel like I've been haughty enough. My lord, Barrack and his band have been drilled on the Echo Call assault plan. Present runners should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping a gauntlet to a breastplate. And I will ensure Chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, Chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunan's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. She'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as she doesn't do anything too stupid.
The Falcon twirls his scepter one last time, then taps the fifth eye on the shoulder, and the two depart.
Yes, if you give it no further thought.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narat is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us.
Just realised this is what would happen if Karlach and Lysa raised a child together. We'll see.
Now, if you'll leave me
I don't know
be,
enough about her yet.
I have a battle to plan. I imagine duty requires you speak with the chorus further. But if I can convince you to lend a hand, most of my legion is trapped beyond the mountains, so I'm in need of an added sword or two. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I mean, just off the snark and attitude so far. Fair enough. I thought you were remembering like how the rest of the game. Yeah, imagine if they raised the that Gith egg together. I'm short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. And what of the Scarlet Chorus? How will they be helping?
I ask myself that question often. While we take the river crossing, the Scarlet Chorus should be using their sizable presence to remove the Oathbreaker patrols lurking in the outer valley.
Soldier?
So check and stretch. Thank you very much. The Oathbreakers have maintained a sizable force outside the Citadel. We need the Chorus manpower to scour the region. Otherwise, the Oathbreakers will attack at our heels once we cross the Manti. I'd be honoured to help. And Marshal salutes Graven Ash, who turns to leave the tent. I'll be at the trading grounds readying the soldiers. Find me there when you are ready. Pauses, clearing her throat. Although I'm loath to mention it, the Chorus will likely use your assistance. can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the Outer Valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp. Dewey, seek him out if you must. I like...
Ah, got it.
Nice. Doesn't do anything to unlock things in front of people. I just stole from the chests, like, there. That's cool, right? Archon of War lets out alongside as he surveys the maps and models splayed out his desk. Glanced over his shoulder, making brief eye contact with you, furrows his brows, and turned back to his contemplation. When I received the missive that said the fire starter was coming to the well, I thought at last we'll torch these fucking swine, but no, I was foolish to count on such things. May we speak a moment? Seeing as you provided the disfavored with nearly a year of your life, ensuring that Lethian's crossing turned out to turn iron for our war effort, I suppose a little banter is the least I owe you. What's on your mind? Your distrust and voices in Nerat is plain as day. How did this antipathy begin? Our rivalry is an old one. Voices of Nerat served Karas before I did, and I believe he hates me for being of roughly the same status in the eyes of the Overlord, despite being the younger Archon, selected to lead an army through the tears. Archon furrows his brow, grumbling softly as he stares. This war seems to have brought out the worst in us. We've disagreed on strategy at every turn. Okay, we don't have high enough law. You think this madness is something as trivial as envy? That's a bit self-absorbed. Perhaps, but I've seen the voices of Nera denigrate me at every turn, especially in front of Tunon. You all know Tunon will one day select Nerat or I to rule, and I know Nerat is trying very hard to take from me what I've rightfully earned. That's all. For the glory of Karos, the Archon of War taps the haft of his maul to the ground for emphasis and turns back to his maps. Okay, I think we leveled up. You have unspent talent points. Level up. With each level, you can increase one of your character's attributes. Each of these attributes provides benefits to your character as well as increases one or more skills. Increasing an attribute costs 1 point until the attribute score reaches 19. To raise an attribute from 19 to 20 requires 2. Cool. So... let's increase... Ooh, okay. What are these increasing? So that's increasing magic staff, dodge, law, parry, and subterfuge. That's increasing dual wield, dodge, subterfuge, and lightning. Let's just go up lightning again. And let's pick... So we have a talent point to use. I could use thrust to escape. Alright, I need to be level 3 before I can start doing this stuff. Shield Mastery. Staggering Force. Cleave. Focus Strike. Palm Strike. Bonus to accuracy when targeting attacks that are further than 5 meters away. Attacking targets. Targeting attacks? Attacking targets. I need to look at my weapon. Okay, so that's 8 meters range. So that could be good. Bonus to accuracy. I think I'll go with that. I don't know. I'll look at the magic tree next time. So we have more. We have quests. Spell stuff. First was disappointed by your orderly, honourable ways. So, elated by feisty, chaotic inclinations. I caught onto the subterfuge and pleased by my feisty, chaotic inclinations. Okay. Oh, so if I get the loyalty up, then I get combo ability. Tearsman hardened by conflict, verse elevated in the ranks of Scarlet Chorus by killing her superiors, sleeping with one eye open, and never drinking from the same canteen twice. Elated by your violence, subversive words and actions. I criticized to his faces. Scarlet Chorus reputation changed, and this faction is linked to them. Scarlet Chorus reputation changed. Okay, he likes me so far. Oh, because of stuff I did in the previous. Okay, well this is interesting. Game is big on the whole moral dilemma sort of thing. Yeah, it seems cool so far. Also, you are the bad guys. It feels like. So, is it better to be loved or feared? Why not both? Yeah. Meager portion of game simmers in a large copper pot. Right, is it a good idea to just speak to everyone, or will the people that it is actually important to speak to get put in front of me?
Sorry, I can't.
Okay, we can't go that way. Hello, Bob. Lovely to see you. I'm trying it out. It was requested by Cardi, so I thought I'd try it today. From what I remember, it's been a few years. I think you get indicators of important conversations, but doesn't hurt to try and talk to the rest. There's just so many people around. I think if there's nothing there, it's just an NPC relying on no real convo. Fair enough. Hidden objects that only appear if you're sneaking. That was a scouting thing, is what it said. So this is the Iron Marshal. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Arenius, field commander of the Disfavored, pounds her fist into the air. She calls out to the warriors in the training field. I said, eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. Yes, scouting, because sneaking sounds too evil. Yeah, we should be sneaking with the good guys. Paintbinder, welcome to our camp. Disfavored officer nods at your approach. A shame you're here to resolve another disagreement between what should be allies. Though I trust you will, once again, judge in favour of the hardest working and the most courageous. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? How are your warriors reacting? Let's do the first one. I have brigades amassing along Lycid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth Crossing. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. We all die to Karas' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened last time? What's the value? Does Favored need my help? I'll assist. Got much further in Pillars of Eternity before I tried Tyranny. Never finished that one either. Oh, you've played this all the way through, Bob. Awesome. I'll have to, if you've got any tips for me, please do let me know. Unless it's going to be more entertaining to watch me flail. And our plan might just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We're loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon, the adjudicator, selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honour us all on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Hall's crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shields. Points to a heavy armoured soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forge Bound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they fitted his armour. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armour doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Arenius signals to the hulking presence. Beric, come meet the Fatebinder. Soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused to a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible. Oh, God.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Nod silently. Eric returns your nod, silent, save for the creaking articulations in his alloyed carapace.
Barrick, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Watching you play is always a ton of fun. Thanks. It's been a long while since I played this. Don't remember a lot of the intricacies of the game. It's a bit more of an old school RPG, so if you're familiar with those, you should be good at this one. Nope. I am not familiar. I I played a little Pillars of Eternity, but didn't get very far because it was too hard. So I don't know how well I'm gonna do with this, but I have, like, as you've seen, I've played through Baldur's Gate 1 and like 3/4 times. So Baldur's Gate 3. So we'll see how I get on. I do like reading things and like learning how things work and everything. So might be a bit rough, but it also isn't overly hard. Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, we'll see how we get on today. I might do another stream, but I don't know how far I'm actually gonna get. I think positioning teammates is a thing. It looked like there was like a formation thing. Like, I need to make sure I'm out of combat because I'm much more of a ranged person. Verse is like, seems flexible. So, we'll see. Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Barrack with a mixed look.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Grave and Ash leave you out in the rain?
Okay, then yeah, it's not super complicated like older school RPGs, but knowing who's good at what, tanking, dealing damage, healing is important. Yeah. I recommend BG1, but I think the complete difference in engine and D&D rules might cause a bit of dissonance. Yeah, I feel like I would get very confused. I'm pretty sure AC is very different in the older D&D rules. Barrack sighs a frustrated growl, shaking his iron enclosure of a suit. I don't believe we've been acquainted.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
Bangs on his malformed chest armor for emphasis. Yeah, that's to hit armor class 0, right? Yeah, there's, like, because I only know the only rules of D&D I've ever learned are 5e. But I've heard of Sacco, I guess is what you'd call it. So I'd have to learn how that works properly. A needlessly complicated monstrosity. I'm glad it doesn't exist these days. We'll see. Faintbinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus decides to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
Nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I ask that Barrack accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Echo Hall Crossing is now unlocked on the world map. Barrack, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. Plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Faintbinder's service. You're welcome to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Faintbinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrack regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrack. Shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honoured to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. Or I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway, if only so I can put a large object between myself and the enemy. I want to do this one. Oops. He regards you with a perplexed frown. Barak is indeed here for your protection. If you don't find him suitable for duty, you're free to discharge him from service. Hi. Sorry, friend. Cyberpunks with Orcs game. I don't know that one. Oh, it looks like... If that's glowing, I'm assuming that means Verse has stuff to say. How did you do that? Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you do that? I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Vellum Citadel. I heard about that. How Kyrus' anger raised a volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. That was me, alright. Well, call me impressed, considering that you've read the words of Kyrus more than once. I'm surprised you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, it's just worth recognizing that what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's finder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You go in places. I want to see where they lead. Okay. Glowing speech bubble means teammates want to talk. Okay, I'll have to try and keep an eye on that. If I do miss any, please do let me know. So you have level up stuff. So what are your best attributes? Bonus health? Just look for glowing things in general. Yeah. Let's just give you more strength, I think. Shadowrun is the cyberpunk with orcs. Interesting. Overlord has decreed that all in the valley on Kyrus Day assured shall die unless Kyrus' representative holds Ascension Hall. +1 resolve. Okay, interesting. Oh, you have talent points too. Chance to attack enemies as they engage you. Increases one hand and two hand damage. Or we could do Clash of Iron. Issue a mocking invitation challenging enemies to attack Barak. Let's get you to Sentinel. Oh, we all have +1 resolve. That's interesting. I guess it just gives us a bonus against the enemy. What's cage? Oathbreakers already had their chance. No use in wasting cell space on traitors of Kyrus. So, where else can I go? Oh, I should check what Barrack has. You have... Okay, so you're fused into your armor, so we can't put you in anything else. Fair enough. Disfavored iron sword and shield. Okay. Feels so weird not seeing you loot everything that's not nailed down. It's probably safe to assume you already did that. I can't loot. I'm trying to look for everything to loot. Oh, what was the shortcut for that? It was like left alt.
Quiet
Stealth.
down.
Oh, it is stealth. Scouting mode is stealth. Used for both stealth and for finding hidden objects like traps and secret containers. While scouting, your character's selection circles will start to fill with yellow, and hostile character is starting to detect them. Once the circle fills, character is suspicious and will move to investigate while the circle fills red. If the circle becomes red, your characters will be discovered. Okay. I'm Lucia, this is Marcus. Disfavored soldier points to the armored man next to her, and you must be the Faintbinder. From under her helmet, you hear an audible scoff. We've been assigned to babies. Assigned to your hospitality. Marcus quickly interjects, while you remain on disfavored ground. If you should need a place to rest, we can make the necessary preparations. Marcus, tell me about yourself. Not much to tell. Trained at Forced Resolution. This is my first campaign. I'm proud to be with the Legion. I was wounded at the Gates of Judgment, but Graven Ash's protection mended me good. I owe my life to him. Are you bragging that you let your guard down and took a spear to the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy tearsman besting you in battle. You're just bitter Lord Ash never seemed to notice you. In all seriousness, I would take that spear again if it brought honor to the disfavored. Paris knows we could use it. We are the elite fighters of the Northern Army, but somehow still lack the Overlord's confidence. Okay. Excuse me. Lucia, tell me about yourself. I do this. Lifts up her heavy shield, and I do this. She mockingly stabs at the air with her spear. Playing host is not my strong suit. Hey, 5. Lovely to see you. What's a training? Of course. What can we train? One-handed weapons and parry. We don't have much money. Barrack's one-handed weapons, right? Because he's using sword and shield, so he's got one-handed weapon. What does... Lucia do? One-handed, dodge, and athletics. Okay. Good to know. Imagine he spent that money and we all popped in saying he doesn't use one-handed weapons. Oh, imagine. It's alright. It's only weapon money I nicked from the merchant anyway.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
To say left control highlight stuff you can loot. We'll see. You want to say that. Well, that is only highlighted because I put my mouse over it. Left control doesn't do that. Tab does it. Thank you.
That wasn't so hard.
There also appears to be a mark on the map when there's something that I can loot, which is kind of nice. Yes, there's always something on the left. Bronze tower shield. Yeah, it's like...
That wasn't so hard.
Isotanus curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why I got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong, but it can take a beating and get bent back into shape, unlike the stubborn iron we have here. Glances at a pile of his work with dread. And we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It's a rare smith who can turn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the massive. Couldn't do that with bronze. Of course, some of us go overboard from time to time. Looks back up and down. They call it disfavored the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron. Good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lethian's Crossing. You mentioned an iron shortage? I'm afraid so. Last shipment sent down the Matany went missing near Echo Call Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing it anymore now the valley is sealed. Who wouldn't check out Barrack? Have you seen how hot he is? Hot enough his armor fused together, but yeah. Unfortunately, you'd probably smell him before you saw him, though. I feel really bad for the guy. Like, does nobody know what bath is? Forge-bound iron is Tunon's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. Graven Ash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass any information on to the Vendrian guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in enemy hands. So overrated. That's why I only bathe once a year. Yeah, shower the rest of the time, right? But yeah, it's like to get into all the nooks and crannies in between his armor. Like, go for a bath in a lake and lie down in the sun for a while. Might get a little burnt, but I've been instructed to aid an operation in Echo Call. I'll keep an eye out for your shipment. I appreciate that, as does the Great General, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It'll be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. May the Tunon wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to a crate beside him and points to a small set of notches in the wood. You see that? That's how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous, so people don't go snooping around. You want to keep your eye out for those. Good hunting. I'd like to see your wares. All this stuff that I can't afford because I have no money. Okay, can't go any further this way. Can't talk to these. Okay, it looks like there was a person that I can speak to here, but first there was stuff over here. Off in the distance, you pick up the typical clamour of a military camp. The clang of sparring steel, the low rumble of stomping feet, and hushed murmurs emanating behind closed tents. How many clicks that actually be allowed to read that? You look interesting. This game is where my pinky was glued to the tab key instead of the usual shift. Yeah, it's also kind of nice that it's, even if you haven't seen it, it is actually shown on the map. So, like, that's kind of how I've been knowing where to look. Glory to the voices of Narat, projecting a salutation for all to hear. The grinning blood chanter wraps his staff against the ground as you approach. Hey, bind up Handa, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Bye. Right, you have a star on you. Fatebinder Panda, am I right? I am Sevius? I don't know how to say my own name. Commander and 3rd General disfavored. Specifically, I am Sevius the Younger. Some folks can't keep track. The rank says Commander, but lately I'm just organizing patrols and trying to stay out of the way. You should talk to Iron Marshal if you've something official that needs discussing. Nope. Let's just see if there's somewhere we can go up here. You do you, but this is a game that rewards and encourages you to talk to people and ask all the questions. Oh, really? Okay. I just didn't want to be doing it if it's not, like, important to do. Can be given quests from asking the right questions or knowledge needed to help you solve quests. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll start talking to everybody then. Back again. Have you so little to do? What's it like working with disfavored? Scoffs, looking away from you for a moment before sniffing and returning his attention to you. Reporting to the Iron Hag is an insult. She fought one duel for her title. One, her leadership must be continuously proven, earned, and defended. Weakness should bleed from the bottom of the army, not rise to the top. My assignment here is also an insult, but one I will bear for the good of the chorus. Bitterquip sniffs the air, smiling with one side of his mouth. Only to see, with my own eyes, the failure of the disfavored. It will be a fine day. What can you tell me? Chorus is the future of the tears. I feel only derision and pity for those who fear an inevitable ascension. Bitterquip looks at you with a raised eyebrow. What in particular would you like to know? Tell me about Nerat. He is supreme commander and public servant. He who sets us free but directs all. Bitterquip smiles as he talks, his face turning flushed. Voice as Nerat is the epitome of what each of us can be. A magician without equal and the leader of uncountable numbers. The voices in the chorus are one, conquering, expanding, growing, changing, always stronger. Glory to the voices. In addition to world building to help you decide who to help or tell to shove off, if you decide to tell anyone to shove off. We'll see. How did you come to join? The Doctrine of Strength speaks to me, and I answered its call, as did some of my arcane peers. I took to the chorus almost instantly. Unlike most, I cried not for the life of comfort lost to me. My magic invokes fear and terror, and I easily established my dominance over a pack in my early days in the chorus. If you're so curious about it all, perhaps you should visit our camp and see for yourself. What is your role? I'm a blood chanter. My magics turn the will of a man and the tide of battle. I've held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the disfavored is not the reward I had envisioned for my service thus far. Sounds as if you really like the voices of Nerat. Bitterquip blinks several times and scowls, saying nothing. That's all for now. Interesting. Welcome back. I overheard you asking that Earthshaker where their reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? Yeah, it didn't live up to his name in the end there. Nope. Just bitter. I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spellslingers to help break the stalemate. Didn't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you are all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Could you? I knew that Tunon's agent wouldn't fail us in time of need. I'll mark the last known site of our Earthshaker's reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege has delayed for so long? It should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley, and we went straight for the kill. But that was before we knew the Vendrian Guard had sages than that water witch on their side. Bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the Vendrian Guard, but I have no proof of this. It seems they do little to keep a watchful eye on these drafted tearsmen. They're often sent out on patrol, and we suspect they use that opportunity to escape back to the Vendrian Guard. Every chorus conscript has a choice: life under Kairos or death under the army's boots. By all means, feel free to cut down those who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunon's agent, I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. Two armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. Disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the tears, while the Scarlet Chorus bring only mayhem in their wake. You can tell me the voice of Nerat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it, but the Chorus sure seems to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. You want to call that progress? Be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the voice of Nerat is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us are here to do our job. Not much to tell. My father was Severus the Elder. Sevius the Elder. His father was Sevius the First of his name, lead drillmaster of the Ash's first Iron Guard, back when they were the Bronze Guard. I was born into the Legion, and with any hope, I'll die in the Legion. The rest you will hopefully hear about when the storytellers immortalize me. Bronze Guard? Well, this day and age was a century ago. They didn't have Kraus modern luxuries like iron. So back then, the great general's inner council was known as the Bronze Guard. should be proud of your pedigree. Thanks. I try not to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I screw something up, I wish I wasn't dragging the family name through mud along with me. Oh, I didn't read the other options. Look at you building favor and making friends. Yeah. We got a couple of quests anyway. Yeah, friends. So we have Forgebound Iron to find the missing shipment of iron near Echo Hall Crossing. The Earthshaker reinforcements travel to the northern clearing to search for them. We could go to the Echo Hall Crossing. But we should probably go to the Scarlet Chorus camp first. Worth doing, much like how you gain abilities depending on how much your teammates respect and fear you. Also gain stuff based on how much factions favour and hate you. Cool. So that's in here. It doesn't tell you, or it does. There we go. You can get favour from the Vendrian. Seems to be the easiest to get favour from the disfavoured with what I chose so far. Barbaric words and actions, great.